Asylum seekers from African countries. We're learning more about an effort for English language services. That's ahead.
Plus, why photos shared earlier this week concerning the controversial CMP transmission line project aren't exactly adding up. We'll explain.
Also, we are posting pictures of ourselves online all the time, right? The question is, are those pictures ending up in databases somewhere because of facial recognition? We'll answer that question tonight. This is News Center Now. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lee Nelson.
And I'm Lindsay Mills. An update tonight from Portland City leaders on what they're calling phase 2 of their response to the arrival of hundreds of asylum seekers from African countries. As many as 250 people continue to live at the emergency shelter set up at the Portland Expo Center. That's in addition to the more than 40 families living at the family shelter on Chestnut Street. City officials are working under an August 15th deadline to find more long-term housing solutions. So far, city officials say 7 families have moved to rental housing in the Mid-Coast.
Meantime, the city is using its cultural orientation program to help with urgent needs like housing and English language services. It's a program the city already offers monthly to new Mainers. However, with this influx of asylum seekers, they've had to make some adjustments. On Monday, the program will begin offering a 4-week English language crash course.
And the intent is really what we're defining as survival English, so that they're able to say their name, that they're able to say their address, that they can recognize forms, that they can just the really basics to survive in the immediate situation.
Now, the city is working with local organizations like Learning Works, Hope House English Language Services, In Her Presence, and the YMCA to offer this course. The Children's Museum is providing childcare services while parents attend those classes. And in other news tonight, what appears to be some conflicting information surrounding that CMP transmission line project, which, if approved, would provide power from Canada through Maine to New England electric grid. Yeah,
this time the confusion surrounds photos shared by Sandra Howard, the director of No on NECEC. That's the group against the Corridor project. Sam York has been following this issue. She joins us tonight with more details. Hey, Sam.
Hey guys, yeah, so this was the post that was shared on that No on NECEC Facebook page a couple days ago. The photos show what looked to be a cleared path through the woods. In her post, Howard says, quote, "The proposed corridor route on the upstream side of Moxie Stream toward where the power line would cross the Kennebec is now actively being cleared." She goes on to say that her legal team is working on getting more answers. But do the photos really show that? Well, according to Maine's Department of Environmental Protection and Central Maine Power, that answer is no. The New England Clean Energy Connect actually shared this on their Facebook page last night, explaining that the photos are from the west side of the Moxie Stream. However, this particular section shown is not part of the proposed project line. Instead, they say it's where a path was cleared last fall to gain access to the Kennebec River to, quote, "gather information needed for the proposed design of the under river section." Now, earlier this afternoon, I spoke with Jim Beyer, who is not only the regional licensing and compliance manager for Maine's DEP, but he was actually the man who gave the green light for this clearing project to go through last fall. He explained that CMP's original proposal would have had the transmission line cross over the Kennebec River, caused some serious scenic viewing concerns. So instead, they suggested putting the line under the river, and they would have to look at the impact of that.
The alternative with the least amount of impact was to put a temporary crossing across Moxie Stream and then take that piece of equipment up what's called the Lost Camp Road, which is an old road that kind of parallels the river. That has not been heavily used in a very long time. So they had to do a little bit of clearing in order to get that piece of equipment in there. And they did that last November and December.
All right, so Sam, did they say what kind of maybe surveying was being done in that area?
Yeah, so I was actually able to obtain an email from September 24th of 2018 between John Carroll, who is the director of corporate communications for CMP's parent company, Avangrid, and it was between him and Heidi Dion, who is the administrative secretary for the town of Jackman. And that explains what the crews from SW Coal Engineering would be doing. It says, quote, they will be conducting test borings to assess soil characteristics along the route as part of the design process for the power line structures. The crews will take a series of borings starting near the Canadian border and work generally east. The work at each site should take no more than 1 day, and it should have little to no impact on the logging operations or recreational activities.
And so, Sam, it seems like that original post is possibly inaccurate.
Yeah, so I've reached out to Sandra Howard a couple times today actually about that specifically, and she said that her legal team is still looking into things and she will circle back with an answer as soon as possible.
All right, and then you'll circle back with us, right?
Yes, I will.
That's the way it works.
Thanks,
Sam,
guys.
thank you very much. All right, let's turn our attention to the weather. The streak is broken, I would
Right.
say, wouldn't you?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
At least
nice
as far as the
days.
sun goes.
By the way, have you ever seen that meme that said being an adult is answering emails with "let's circle back on this later" until one of you dies? That's I think that's pretty
That's
accurate.
like the story of my life.
Yeah. All right. Dew points. Yeah. Today was not a pleasant day, and we didn't think that it would be. But dew points into the low and mid 70s in a lot of spots. Really, really humid out there, and a couple of showers and thunderstorms I'll show you in a second. Temperatures currently in the 80s for the most part, but when you combine that with the dew points, your heat indices are quite high, considering that we really didn't see much sunshine. We got into the 90s for the heat index around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and again doing that largely without sun. A couple of showers moving in from the west now into York and Cumberland County. This is light stuff. We do have a couple of areas of thunderstorms, though. This is the most interesting one here that is moving right now off to the south and east. Probably going to just miss Dover, Foxcroft, and on the way into Lincoln on the north side. It's not severe, but there's some heavy downpours along with that. Look at all the action down to our south, though. The lightning is crazy down across central and southern parts of Massachusetts. Looks like the severe weather will stay down to our south. Guys, we get a little bit of a break late tonight. The humidity drops. Tomorrow's going to be a weird day because it will feel kind of fallish. Capture that, bottle that, because the heat is on after that in a big way for the weekend.
We're going to need that. Keith, thanks. Prosecutors say they will not proceed with charges against actor Kevin Spacey. The man who accused actor Spacey of groping him at a Massachusetts bar dropped his civil suit 2 weeks ago, and now the criminal case is over. We will have much more information on this story at our website and mobile app.
Now we'll check some more headlines this evening, beginning with the sentencing of Mexican drug lord Joaquin Guzman, nicknamed El Chapo, of course. He found out today he's going to spend the rest of his life in a U.S. prison. A federal judge handed down that life sentence in Brooklyn this morning. Guzman convicted on multiple counts of an industrial-sized drug smuggling operation back in February. The sentence wasn't really a surprise. A life sentence was actually mandatory under federal sentencing guidelines. But the Justice Department asked the judge to tack on an extra 30 years, citing his illegal use of firearms as well.
Amidst all the talk about the Apollo 11 anniversary, NASA is testing a new rover for a future Mars mission, and the organization wanted a place on Earth that's most like the surface of Mars. So, where are they doing this testing? Iceland, where the landscape and the weather is a little otherworldly, as they describe it. It's a self-driving rover. The Mars mission is scheduled to happen sometime next year.
For the first time in a really long time, the number of people dying from drug overdoses appears to be falling. This is according to a brand new report released today by the CDC. And it shows there were almost 68,000 fatal overdoses last year, still a lot. And this data is preliminary, so experts caution the numbers might increase a bit. 2 years ago, though, there were 70,000 fatal ODs at this time. In Maine, there were 282 drug overdose fatalities in 2018, which is a 5% drop from the year before.
New Hampshire middle and high schools are now required to provide free feminine hygienic products to students, calling it an issue of equality and dignity. The governor there signed a bill today to require all female and gender-neutral bathrooms in middle and high schools to stock free menstrual products. There have been a lot of you talking about this story on social media. Supporters say a lack of access to such products contributes to period poverty, is what it's so called, as girls whose families can't afford the product stay at home or miss class when they have to get the supplies from a school nurse. Opponents say the bill amounts to an unconstitutional unfunded mandate. And we want to hear what your thoughts are on this. So if you join the conversation right now on our Facebook and YouTube live streams, we'll take a look.
Yes, we shall.
All right, coming up, a major cell phone provider has a serious data breach. We're going to find out why, which company and which customers are affected.
Yeah, plus, a look at the numbers from Amazon's two-day Prime event, a sale that has more clout when it comes to the busiest shopping days of the year now.
Okay, stick to the script. See. Well,
we're at the wall.
Yep.
And you know what? They want me on the other. Oh wait, does Bill want me on the other side again tonight? Okay.
okay.
This is new.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does.
That makes sense.
Right. Plus, I got my mic on the correct lapel for this too.
Yeah. Hi, Facebook. How's everybody?
Good evening. Good evening. Alrighty.
A lot of people, again, saying, you know, similar comments we've seen for a month now regarding the asylum seekers. A lot of people concerned about the homeless and our veterans. With this story today, it's really English language services and those resources that are helping them now, which I don't know would apply very much to the homeless or veteran population. But in terms of long-term housing, yes, I guess that does apply. But yeah, I mean, it's a challenge, and the same shelters that are helping, like the family shelter on Chestnut Street, they're still providing, you know, help for the homeless population as well. The Salvation Army is still helping as well, not just asylum seekers, but the homeless as well. Thanks, Deborah. Ooh. Did you end up doing the Face App challenge?
I did not.
No.
My comment about this was I already am at the, like, I'm the after picture already. Why would I want to make it worse?
It works on the reverse. Welcome back, everyone. Sprint confirming a serious data breach. The company is informing customers that hackers may have gained unauthorized access to accounts through Samsung's Add-A-Line website. Names, billing, addresses, phone numbers, and other sensitive details may have been compromised. Sprint does say no other information that could create a substantial risk or fraud or identity theft was acquired. The company says it learned about the breach in late June and has since reset PIN codes for all accounts that were affected. But it's still unclear, though, how many Sprint customers were affected.
A new poll shows investing in real estate is still the preferred option for a lot of Americans who are looking for financial security. This poll done by Bankrate.com, and it said 31% of Americans say that real estate is the best way to invest if it is money they wouldn't need for 10 years or so. Breaking it down, investing in real estate was the top pick among millennials, that's age 23 to 38, Gen Xers, ages 39 to 54, and baby boomers, 55 to 73. The stock market was a distant second. Cash investments, savings accounts or CDs came in third. And lastly, a majority of Americans said lower interest rates would not make them more likely to invest in the stock market or borrow money or put cash into savings accounts or CDs.
Housing rents, meanwhile, continue to rise across the country, but now some startups are offering an alternative solution to be your lender. Could this be a fix? After more than a decade of economic growth, the price of real estate remains high, so less people are choosing to buy homes and instead they're renting, raising demand and forcing prices sky high. Real estate experts say they're explaining.
Why do rents continue to be so high?
The answers I come across, unfortunately, in certain areas across the country is investors don't want to lose their investments, so they're going to keep the prices as high as they can for as long as they can. And people hanging on to inventory so that they don't flood the market so that the prices of those rents don't go down. That's very intentional as well.
So what is it that these startups are offering, and is it risky? We're going to find out more tonight on this on NBC Nightly News. It's an ongoing series called The Price You Pay. Up next, how the pictures you post on social media are helping to advance a type of technology.
Yeah, plus Keith will let us know what the weather will be like. That's coming up.
Exactly. They have those saved. All those apps you send those shirtless pictures to. We are taking a walk to the newsroom.
Okay. You want to start?
Sure.
We'll take part two. Who's really seeing your
Sure.
selfies, and what are they doing with the pictures?
A lot of us.
Where are we going?
I think we're going to the newsroom. I thought we were.
Way over there?
Oh, we're going to the windows. Oh, thanks for grabbing that. Yeah, of course. Da, da, da. Sweet.
So, which side do you want me on, Alex?
I can help you with that too if you want.
Any preference on
I got
which
it, I got
side Any preference? Okay, they're not this way, so you're fine there.
Got it.
Perfect.
Good.
Sweet. Mm-hmm. Bob, if you can hear us, we're just setting up for a different shot across the newsroom. He's wondering where we've gone.
We've gone very far away.
A lot of us love to post pictures online, and facial recognition is certainly nothing new, but when you combine those two things together, there could be problems.
Yeah, so two questions. Who is looking at these selfies we post, and what are they doing with them?
It turns out looking for love online might land you on a facial recognition database. Let's connect the dots. A new report from the New York Times found there are dozens of databases of people's faces, and the people in those pictures have no idea. According to the report, the images are pulled from social media, photo websites, and yes, even dating sites like OkCupid. But it's not just online. Cameras in restaurants and universities are used as well. Privacy advocates say these collections are being gathered by everyone from Stanford University to Facebook and Google. The idea being the more pictures you get, the more you can train artificial intelligence to recognize people and look for patterns. Activists say the concern is some of these databases are being shared with private companies, and there are very few rules and regulations about what they can do with them. A reminder that privacy is harder and harder to come by these days. Connecting the dots, I'm Marcelino Benito.
And this, of course, timely because so many people are doing that Face App challenge we're seeing.
That makes you look older or younger or whatever.
And I totally went down the rabbit hole last night and I was Googling, just there's got to be more to this, right? And there are some rumors going around that maybe there's some Russian involvement.
Right. Is it a way to hack into your accounts and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about that in the next half hour, right?
Very good.
All right. So that's called a tease because
I'm
I'm
going
not
to
telling you the answer.
That was
right now.
very professional. That's why I'm going to let somebody else who has it do mine because I was like, yeah, somebody in the newsroom already has it. So.
Yeah, you can allow access to just the camera and not your camera roll.
Or
that is
so
an
they
option.
say.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Exactly.
Wow,
I
Lee
took their word
Goldberg
for
back
that
for
one.
the evening. That's good. All right, very, very humid out there right now. We get
Yeah.
a one-day break tomorrow, so if you don't like the humidity, there it is. But back to the heat for the weekend. Dew points right now in the 70s for the most part, and we talked about how this is pretty rarefied air. Typically, now last summer we had over 30-something days with dew point over 70, but it doesn't happen much. Typically, I think this is our 6th day this summer. Current heat index upper 80s, mid 80s. We got into the low 90s for the heat index. So that was pretty impressive because we basically did it without the sun. We just did it straight air mass. Despite the clouds, we got up into the upper 80s and low 90s. Here's some showers though, cooling us down over York and Cumberland County right now. It's light stuff for the most part, but we do have a couple of areas of thunderstorms. And this echo here moving its way through Maxfield on the way to Enfield and eventually Greenbush. This whole area here is not severe, but some gusty winds coming down 95 a possibility. And another line coming in to the mountains and foothills here. And again, nothing severe. All the severe weather actually to our south down across southern New England. They have quite a few storms down there at the moment. So showers and storms continue through the first half of tonight. After that, temperatures start dropping, but more importantly, the dew points start dropping. And tomorrow morning is going to be weird because we'll be in the 60s and it'll be almost crisp, only getting into the 70s, so a big change from what we saw today. That's a one-day deal, though, partly cloudy to mostly sunny through the day on Thursday, and then we bring the warmth back on Friday. Some clouds come along with it, but we get back into the mid-80s in the afternoon, and the dew points will be up there as well. So watch those dew points crash down for tomorrow and then rise right back up. It's hard to keep this kind of air mass down, and we're back into the low 70s for dew points by Friday. So it really is just a one-day reprieve. High temperatures on Saturday still looking high. 95 in Portland, 95 in Augusta, 91 in Wiscasset is hard to do. And we keep going back and forth between 99 and 100. I keep putting 100. It's just my personality. But it's going to be upper 90s easily in western Maine. Heat indices, of course, will be 102, 103, 104, depending on your location. So hot. It'll be hot. And then merely 90 on Sunday. Some showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Cooler. I'm not sure about Monday. There's a chance that Monday will actually be a nicer day than I'm depicting there, but there's some model differences. And then Tuesday, Wednesday look good. More seasonable overall. So just one day below average. Tomorrow, the rest are pretty much above, especially for the weekend. But you've been warned for 7 days by the time it gets here, so should not be surprised.
Yeah, and a mere 90, that should be nothing.
It'll be okay. It'll feel a lot better than Saturday, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Interesting. All right, Keith, sounds good. Thanks a lot. Hey, I wanted to tell you this. The numbers are in. You're probably wondering about this. Amazon's big Prime Day, or actually it was a couple of days. Way bigger than the company's Black Friday and Cyber Monday combined. So members worldwide bought more than 175 million items in the last couple of days. What were the biggest sellers? Well, devices. The Echo Dot, the Fire Stick with Alexa Remote, the Fire Stick 4K with the Alexa Remote, they were among the best sellers. And Prime members in the U.S. saved tens of millions of dollars by shopping at Whole Foods. Two of the most popular items there, organic strawberries, red cherries, and blueberries.
All healthy things.
Yes,
very good. It is World Emoji Day. Apple celebrating by releasing a sneak peek to 59 new ones. The new designs introduce more disability-themed emojis, including a new guide dog, wheelchairs, a prosthetic arm and leg, as well as an ear with a hearing aid. There's also a major update to the holding hands emoji. Users will now be able to personalize the people holding hands with more than 75 possible combinations. You can also look out for some new food-themed ones, including a waffle, butter, and garlic, as well as new animals like the sloth. A lot of excitement about that today on social media. The skunk, an orangutan, and a flamingo. I've been waiting for the flamingo. These will all be available in the fall.
Okay, very
Very
good.
cool.
Why were you waiting for the flamingo?
You know, at the San Diego Zoo when we went a couple months ago, I love the San Diego Zoo and I love their flamingos.
Okay.
And I wanted to share the moment on social media with an emoji to match.
Got it.
And it was not there.
I got it.
I know.
All right, hopefully there's a pig emoji because pigs scattered over a portion of a Kentucky interstate today after a semi turned over. The truck overturned in the southbound ramp of I-65 downtown Louisville. This is around 7:15 this morning. A portion of the interstate was blocked off while the driver gathered up the pigs. The driver wasn't hurt. The pigs weren't hurt either. Cause of the crash is currently under investigation.
All right. Glad they're all cleaned up there. A lot more coming up on News on Demand at 5:30. Cindy's here with a preview of that. Hey, Cindy.
Hi, guys. Yeah, we do have a lot more coming up. So many people, even here in our newsroom, have been playing with that, Face app. I know you guys have. We all have. It can make you look young, old, even make you look like the opposite sex. But we have, people are saying that this app is not all fun and games, that it actually poses a security risk by gathering all your photos. We're going to verify whether or not that's true. And what is the secret behind generations of success in a family business? We're going to visit the Dorman family, making ice cream on Route 1 in Thomaston for 5 generations. That's all ahead at 5:30. Back to you.
That's a long time to make ice cream.
5.
Wow.
That's a lot of ice cream.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear their secret to maybe their secret ingredients.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I don't know.
All right, we'll see you guys in a bit. We're back after this. Cool.
Just so you know, you guys are staring at the monitor downstairs.
Monitor. Very good.
Sweet. Marcus, what's going on? We haven't heard from you in a while. Keith, Fred's throwing out some weather facts for us. He said, Fred, he says, last year we had 45 days of oppressive humidity. I'm very glad it hasn't been the same this summer.
Yeah, sounds right. I think it was at least 40.
Yeah.
70 plus dew points.
I remember it was brutal last year.
Imagine if you were all preggo last year.
Oh my gosh.
Would have been tough.
I know. I'm complaining enough this year as it is. What is Braindrops today?
About shipping, because we did all that whole Braindrops on
Oh yeah.
on different modes.
Yeah.
And
Wait, I'm actually very interested in this because when I did the beer box story last week, I asked if you're going to Canada, why not just ship it or by road? And they said because it's a little bit cheaper to ship by sea. And they said it's a little bit greener too.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it depends. You're carrying a lot of stuff on a boat, so that definitely helps. Okay.
Very interesting.
Start on this board, or
No, start here and then we'll go to. That's the quote that kind of stuck out to me though about the whole thing.
I'm the captain now. That's what I always think when I see these.
Can you imagine driving one of those?
No.
Can't maneuver too well.
I mean, I couldn't believe watching Dustin's and Kirk's ship me out.
Yeah.
Some of those shots where Dustin's on the other end and you see the horizon disappear and appear and you just
Some
know
rough
that.
water out that way.
Oh,
It's
unbelievable.
like the Gulf of Mexico here. I've never been seasick, but I also have never been in something that vicious, so I'm not sure. I don't think I'd get sick, but everybody has a limit. All right, today's Brain Drops falls in line with the piece I did on Friday about different carbon footprints of transportation. This one is on low carbon shipping, and the thing that stuck out to me about this article was the following quote, that if shipping were a country, it would be the 6th largest polluter in the world. And so obviously there's a lot at stake here. So by 2020, these ships via international treaty have to have lower emissions. It's not just carbon, it's sulfur, it's all the pollutants that they're putting out when they're within 200 miles of a shoreline. Of course, that makes it so they have to do it pretty much all the time. They're not going to switch fuel sources. So they're looking into using a different type of fuel, and the best option seems to be hydrogen. The problem with hydrogen is that it takes twice as much volume for the same amount of energy, so to speak, as their current fuel. But they think there's a way around this, which is they won't need their internal combustion engines anymore. They're giant machines, and so they won't need all parts of that anymore, and they can store the hydrogen in there. But it's about making this economically friendly, and they're working on making it not so painful for shipping to transition over. But this goes back to the conversation about different ways of getting around, and of course this is mainly goods that are shipped this way.
Very interesting. All right, that does it for us. News Center Maine at 5:30 starts right now.
The lack of any feedback there is weird.
Yeah.
Like I saw it there that we were on.
Yeah, it feels like we're in a dark hole. Bye, Facebook.